Hi, welcome to my Pecha Kucha. I'm Al-Hasso. I'm going to be talking about prosthetic sockets, Sierra Leone, and the work of Dr. David Senge. And so we're going to look at how a civil war sparked innovation in the field of prosthetic sockets. And so first up, some information about Sierra Leone, including, where is it? So Sierra Leone is that dot right there. It's in West Africa. And there was an 11-year civil war from 1991 to 2002, during which a lot of people died and a lot of people were amputated. The war was fought between the Revolutionary United Front and the Sierra Leone government during that time. So during the war, forced amputation was a method of both intimidation and torture, with the Revolutionary United Front saying things like, "You voted for the president with these hands, you'll never vote with them again." And so as a result, a lot of the survivors of the war are amputees. And so in a relief effort, every amputee in Sierra Leone was given a prosthetic limb, but a lot of people choose not to wear them, simply due to their discomfort. They cause pressure sores and blisters, and people are not able to function with them, and they'd rather lose the use of both their arms to wear the crutches than wear this prosthetic limb. So this was a problem identified by Dr. David Senge. He was born in Sierra Leone, and he moved to America to do his undergraduate degree at Harvard, and did his doctorate at MIT, where he created a 3-step process for developing prosthetic sockets. So you probably know that guy, that's Bill Gates, and that's David Senge and Bill Gates discussing how to overcome poverty in African nations through innovation. And through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they have, I believe, given some funding and also been invested in this project with Dr. David Senge. Okay, so just to clear up very quickly what a prosthetic socket is, it is the interface between the human body and a prosthetic limb. The residual limb will fit into the socket, and the socket itself connects to, in this case, a prosthetic leg, or it could be a prosthetic arm, or another manner of prosthesis. Okay. So traditionally, prosthetic sockets are created through a casting and molding process, and this is very expensive, and it can take a very long time to find one that is comfortable. It takes up to 3 years to create a comfortable socket, and some people report never getting that level of comfort that they need. So the 3-step process that Dr. Senge developed was to first take an MRI of the residual limb, and then using a method called finite element analysis, creating a 3D model that is available for printing. Now, I'll explain each of these steps a little bit more now. So first up, what's an MRI? That's the MRI scanner, and the residual limb is exposed to a very strong magnet which spins around it, and during which the water molecules in your body are rearranged, and I'll go more into that in a second. They produce images like the one seen on the left, which can be later used in the process to develop these custom fit sockets. So you can see here that the water molecules are usually in disarray, and then when the magnet spins around, they're ordered, and when they return to disarray, they release a radio wave, which is produced, which can be used to produce the image we saw a second ago. So step 2, coming up in a minute, is the finite element analysis. You can see the different areas indicated by the colours, and those will be points of stress. Each of those points of stress can be, the advantage of using this method is you can use a different material for each of those areas to provide the support and the relief that they're going to need in those areas. And so for a bit of information on this, what it in effect, this process is breaking down one massive problem into a lot of very small problems. So each of those small, you have a 2D example and a 3D example. All of those smaller triangles or smaller areas can be a different material. They can be, they can have different properties depending on the need. This is actually the only image I can find of one of the 3D printed sockets because it's in a clear prosthetic. And you can see the different materials with the pink, the blue, and the green. If you've ever seen Hugh Herr speak, you can actually see these colourful sockets underneath both of his prosthetic legs. Okay. So then, just to recap, we've first taken an MRI of the residual limb, then using finite element analysis, produced a 3D model that you can then print. This process takes less than a week compared to, I believe they did it in a day one time. but compared to the 3 years earlier, this is a dramatic improvement in efficiency and affordability. So people who used them, everyone who lost a limb in the Boston Marathon bombings was offered one. Any amputee can get one, and veterans were used in a trial for developing the process. This man happens to fit all of those descriptions, Jose Sanchez. So then, nowadays, David Senge is working for the Office of the President in Sierra Leone. He's the Chief Innovation Officer there, and that's why he met Bill Gates earlier. And he creates STEM programs for youths in Sierra Leone to get them interested in STEM programs. And I just want to talk very quickly about, I listened to a podcast of his and how he expresses his view on the subject. He finds articles like this somewhat harmful because it kind of heralds him as like some genius here to save his people. And it's much more, he developed technology that can be used by anyone. And he started developing that due to a project, due to an issue he saw in his home country. I just want to read this very quickly. This is talking about his academic advisor at MIT. That problem is not just for people in Sierra Leone. He himself, a tenured MIT professor, described the same pain as was described to me by people in Sierra Leone. So I'm just trying to make clear that like this technology that was developed for one purpose can be used anywhere, and its improvements in efficiency and affordability have led it to be used also for people who may need more affordable limbs for due to financial reasons, or more rapidly available limbs for like emergency cases. And thank you very much.
Thank you.